Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another How About Them Celtics video. Sam and I are here recording on Friday, January 24th, talking about the spiraling Celtics because Celtics lost again to the Lakers. We talked about that. If you want our thoughts on that game, we talked about it after the game. So that's on the channel, that's on streaming platforms, all that good stuff. But we're talking about the response because despite that they lost, everyone still seems to be pretty fine with what's going on. Kristaps after the game said, "I'm feeling pretty good, honestly. I'm having, again, good starts early on. Guys are finding me. I'm hitting shots. My percentages and threes are going up. Starting to feel better physically. I'm getting there. If I'm not here, I'm getting there. Or if I'm not there, I'm getting there. It's a good sign. I want to keep playing this way, and all of us just have to be more consistent performances as a team will be good." Jaylen Brown did call them out a little bit for not being as good as they needed to be against the Lakers, which makes sense because they weren't. But even Jaylen Brown said, I'm not concerned, but it's part of navigating the year. Anything can happen. We need to finish the All-Star break strong and then get ready to gear up towards the playoffs. Continue to say it, stay with it, stay the course, because I feel like we're still the best team out there. We just got to put it together. And then KP also said, I just feel it. I feel how we are. I'm getting into my rhythm, and we're finding rhythm as a team. There's nights like this, of course, that happen. It happened last year. It's happening this year a little bit more, but I don't think we're too far off where we need to be. We just need to keep our head down, keep working, and I believe we'll peak at the right moment. Now, there's no arguing, in my opinion, whether or not they believe it, because I think they believe it. The argument or the conversation is, are they lying to themselves? And are they lying to us? Is there concerns? I know I've said it a million times that I'm not concerned, and they say they aren't either. But we're getting past this is a small slump and into it. This is like a 20-game sample size of what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, this has been an extended period of time where they don't look like a winning basketball team. They just continue to be mediocre. They continue to lose games that they should win. They really have fallen off a cliff offensively. They can't put the ball in the basket, which we talked about last night after the Lakers, and really just continues to be the point that we all come back to and are like, well, if they make shots, then they'll be better, which is the absolute worst thing to talk about, where it's just like, well, they're doing everything right except not making shots. And when it boils down to it, it is unfortunately the case. Like, the effective field goal percentage is real bad. Forsberg pointed out in this article he did. Over the last 10 games, they're like 26th in the NBA, 25th in the NBA in effective field goal percentage. That trend has just gotten worse and worse. They were 21-5, and they shot 56.3, which was sixth best effective field goal percentage. Then it was 10-9, 54%, which was 14th in the league. And again, now they're down to 25th in the NBA. And it's just really not what you need to see to win basketball games. You have to make your shots. You have to be able to score. There's so many times during this stretch where the offenses just look stale.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Celtics last 10 games, as you said, Chris Forsberg put it in this article for NBC Sports Boston. Last 10 games, they're fifth in defense. And last 19 games, they're fourth in defense. And the first 26 games of the season, they were eighth in defense. So if anything, the defense, ironically, has gotten better. Like, defense has been statistically better than it was at the start of the season. In the last 10 games, it's a little bit worse than it was in eighth. It was 109.7 defensive rating through the first 26, and it's 110.2 now. So half a defensive rating point worse, whatever. But even in the last 19, it's better than it was in the first 26. So, like, the defense, by the numbers, hasn't been the problem. The offense has just been 20th in their last 10 games. They literally just aren't making shots. And I think part of that is maybe they're trying too hard to mismatch hunt and feeding Kristaps when they should just be letting it come within the flow of the offense. In their last 10 games, the Celtics are shooting 33.2% from three. But they're still taking the second most in the league in that span at 44 a game, which is still significantly 7 less than they were taking through the first X amount of games. But that's because the percentage has dropped off a cliff. And if that's the volume you're taking, you can't be shooting the fifth worst in the NBA from three. The only team shooting worse from the Celtics than the Celtics from three in the last 10 games are the Wizards, Hawks, Nets, and Magic. Not exactly the best company to be in considering the current state of the Magic. So it's just not very good. The next team even close to taking the most as them is in that realm is the Wizards at 42, and I don't even think they know. They're not concerned with winning or losing either, so it's not exactly the best team to be compared to. Listen, I believe that they are not concerned because I do think a big part of this, as frustrating as it is to discuss, is hit your shots and things will solve themselves. And I don't think the defense has been great, but I don't think looking at the numbers, like they should be winning more games based on where their defense has been. So I don't think I'm too worried about the long term this season's success of the Celtics. I still think they can be a championship team. I still think they are a championship team. But right now, it's just like it's confusing to hear how not worried these guys are after how like clearly rough it's been. And Jaylen Brown like called them out after. He says you got to give him credit, but I just think we came out flat. We just kind of looked tired. Maybe you could say it's just the game from last night being carried over, but on both sides of the floor they had more energy. It just wasn't there. Like he knows, he's like, yeah, we sucked, but where's the barometer for when that ends? Because it's been like that. It's consistent now.
Yeah, they've sucked for a really long time. And I think one of the reasons why they feel so good about themselves is, one, they just won a championship, but two, they're watching the film like we've done several times throughout this terrible stretch. And we watch it and we're like, well, that wasn't that bad of a shot. Like they got a pretty decent look. Like Missoula's stressed it quite a bit in the media, been like the process that goes into us getting these shots has all been pretty good. We're doing the things we're supposed to do. The shots just aren't falling. The real question is like, at what point does this all break where it's like they start to believe the shots are just not going to fall at the same rate that they did last year? I don't think they're there yet. I think they believe that they're going to be able to shoot the shit out of the ball when the playoffs come around and everything will be okay. And it could happen that way. There's still a lot of time. They're like halfway mark through the season. Like they've played just about half the games so far. A lot of time to figure it out. A lot of time to start making shots again, to get hot. But right now, they do not look like a team that is going to intimidate anybody. They're losing games, getting the piss beat out of them by the Lakers. They almost lost to the Clippers in overtime. They lost that game to the Hawks on Saturday. I mean, they almost lost to the Pelicans. The list goes on. It's been just a very unhappy time with the Celtics. They are not playing consistent basketball. They continue to go out there and like kind of have like not fake wins because they are performing in the wins, but like they give false hope that they figured something out, and then they come out and they do the same thing again.
Yeah, I mean, John Krause put this on Twitter. Celtics shot 10 of 26 in the restricted area against the Lakers. Like they shot 38% in the closest possible area you can get to the hoop. They shot 1 of 6 from corners on threes. Like if they had shot average in both of those spots, they probably would have been at least in the game, right? Like, I mean, Joe Mazzulla talks about it all the time, and I'm sure he goes over the guys like expected numbers versus what's actually happening, and make your layups, like get back on track from three. Like even if the Celtics aren't shooting red hot from three, like you said, they maybe are confident they can in the playoffs. Like even if they're shooting like 36, 37%, they're probably going to be winning a lot more of these games. They're just shooting 33 on high volume. And a lot of it is some of the role players. Like I don't think Jalen and Jason have been amazing, but Derek White's not hitting his shots. Drew Holiday's not hitting his shots. Peyton Pritchard's been cold. Al Horford's been cold at times. Like Sam Hauser has been on and off. Like when those guys aren't consistently hitting at least like I said, 37% of their shots, 38% of their shots, you're probably not going to win his games nearly as easily, and maybe not at all. So I'm probably going to title this video something like, are the Celtics lying to us? Talking about whether or not they believe it or if we believe what they're saying. Because like, at what point do we get like, it's frustrating to hear the same stuff come out of their mouths over and over again, but there is nothing else for them to say. Like that is all they can say. That's all they can preach. Cause I think they truly do believe it, but it's just not matching up on the court right now.
No, it's not. And I don't know what it is. I don't want to see them change everything. I just think they do need to figure out something they can do to put the ball in the basket if the shots aren't falling. Because there's only so long that we can sit here and accept that the shots aren't falling. Be like, oh, okay, like it's gonna get better. Like eventually there's something that has to give where they create different shots that are going to fall. We haven't had a reason to doubt that they're going to start making these shots. They were a team last year that made all the shots. That with this group of players, there's no reason why these guys shouldn't be able to shoot anymore. But all of a sudden they can't do it. They haven't been able to do it for a long period now. And it's like the concern level is at like a 4 now instead of like a 2. It's like what the fuck is
Sure.
going on with these guys that they can't score anymore? And it
Mhm.
makes it harder on all the guys at the top, the guys with the ball, the guys putting pressure on the defense, because the defense is like the Stephen A. Smith meme when he just looks like he's unmoved, like couldn't be less concerned when guys are
Yeah.
driving, and they're not afraid to help anymore. Because why would they be? None of the shots are going in.
Yeah. I don't know. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of what the Celtics are saying. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to How About Them Celtics here, Spotify, Apple, all that stuff, and I'll let Sam take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, comment, tell us what you are thinking is wrong with the Celtics. What can they do better? Tell us. You can also find Jack here and me here every single day if you hit the bell. New pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps over the morning after each game. Other videos like this one are up in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can find us on Spotify and Apple too. All pods and recaps are up there. So if you leave a 5-star review, we'd appreciate that very, very much. It does help us in the algorithm. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com is the address. You find us on socials at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook's the name of the pod. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at JacksMonNBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Check